Hey, what's up guys? The new Synchro event just came out and I've been playing with the little special deck I like to call the Pendulum deck. So far in the match history, I've won every single one, but there's only two real duels that I really want to show off. So jumping straight into the deck, this is the main deck. It looks really expensive with all the ultra rare and rares in it, and I'm going to be breaking it down as much as I can and showing a cheap version that you can make as well. So starting off with the main deck, it'll be in the description if you want to see it there. But we run a small Draco Pendulum engine. This is in a more expensive variant of this deck because the Draco Pendulum card, Draco Face-Off, lets you special summon a Pendulum monster directly from your deck, which helps get your synchros going really quick. The best boss synchros in the extra deck are definitely the new one, Baronne de Fleur. I love this card so much, it's really easy to make in this deck, honestly. So are the rank 8s, and it has some very powerful rank 8s like the Ignister Prominence. But other than that, we're running pretty much just the Pendulum structure deck, 3 copies, and we're just adding in some Draco cards along with some other cards which you might need to craft if you haven't already went into the box to get them, which are Double Iris, and very special in the Synchro event, White Wing Magician. If it wasn't for the Synchro event, I wouldn't be running this card, but since it's a Synchro event, this card is very excellent. It's a tuner. The only downside is that when it's Pendulum Summon, it gets banished, but you can get easily around this by normal summoning it. Other cards that don't come in the structure deck are Purple Poison Magician, along with Performapal Celestial Magician. I think just running one copy of these, you can choose to run one copy of White Wing Magician, but since it's a tuner, I want to have more copies, 3 if possible, but I only own 2. And these other 2 guys just to give you more options that you can special summon from your deck or add from your deck. And then we also run some monster destruction, just Raigeki along with some back row removal. You can run Lightning Storm if you have that. I chose not to run it in this build, but you can easily run that by replacing either one of these 2 cards, maybe Harpie's Feather Duster if you don't have that. The rest of the cards come in the Pendulum structure deck, Duelist Alliance, and Pendulum Call, very powerful search cards for pendulums. I have Lightning Storm right here, so here's Lightning Storm. Star Pendulumgraph, you may need to craft this, it's very good in a pendulum deck, and Time Pendulumgraph. So essentially in the Synchro event, we're not able to go into Heavy Metal Foes Electromite, the Link monster, we're only going into Synchros. So we're going to be trying to bust out the best Synchros that we can, and Pendulums honestly have some of the best Synchro monsters available, like Supreme King Dragon Clearwing. This card is just absolutely amazing. When it's summoned, destroy all monsters your opponent controls. Also, if it battles, it destroys it. Just an amazing card. It's a rare. You can easily craft this. It also has this one. You can add a spell from your graveyard to your hand. It comes in a Pendulum structure deck. The only cards that are kind of hard to craft in this are definitely Ignister Prominence, which you may only need 1 copy of. It's an ultra rare, so it is a little costly. And also Baronne de Fleur, I do recommend having at least 1 copy because it's easy to make using Oafdragon along with White Wing Magician. Very good in this deck. It's super powerful, can destroy a card, can negate, and it can also special summon a monster from your graveyard by returning this to the extra deck. I added some synchros that I'm not really planning on making simply because I don't think this deck can make them. I just put them in the extra deck just to put them there, like Stellar Windwolf and the high speed stuff. The only reason the Synchro 6s are there is because of Performapal Odd-Eye Synchron. You can easily bring this card out. It comes in a structure deck, so if you bought 3 copies of the structure deck, you should own this. And yeah, pretty much this deck can be easily made cheap by taking out the Draco engine and putting in more Performapal Odd-Eye Synchro, taking out a lot of the ultras in the extra deck. You really only need 1 copy of this. You really only need 1 copy of Ignister. And you don't even need to run Cyber / I just had it in my bulk, like in the card collection, so I just put it in. But pretty much, this is the main deck. Very powerful. I'm going to be jumping to an even cheaper version of this deck, which you can run, and let's get there right now. Okay, so this is a cheaper version of the deck if you don't want to spend a lot of money on it. Pretty much it's essentially just 3 copies of the structure deck. We're running free-to-play cards that everybody has, and some cards that you gain from the very first missions of the solo mode, along with the bundle deal. If you have the bundle deal, the Lightning Storm bundle deal where you get 10 packs and you get Lightning Storm for free, you're going to have this card. Other than that, you're going to be crafting very low rarity cards like normal and rare, and the extra deck is very low rarity, -2 cards, which is Ignister, which is a very good card that helps pendulum decks a lot, along with Baronne de Fleur, which is a very good card in general, and it's your boss monster in this deck. So pretty much taking out the Draco engine, we managed to put in 2 Dragon Pulse Magicians. We upped the count of the level 2 tuner, which helps a little bit to make rank 6s, excuse me, Synchro 6s. And in the extra deck for Synchro 6s, I just put a bunch of generic ones. If you want to spend a lot of money and not just craft rares, you can put better ones in there. But I didn't really care about the Synchro 6 engine that much. I'm more like interested in the Synchro 8 engine just because it's more searchable, it's more powerful. And honestly, like a card that destroys all monsters your opponent controls, one that can like shuffle a card, it's just, and then one adds a spell from your graveyard. They're just, in my opinion, infinitely more better. But yeah, that's pretty much the deck. I really hope you like it. One will be in the description, the cheaper one will be in the comments, and I'm gonna jump straight into the replays and talk about how the deck performed. So real quick before we jump into the duel, I just want to say, if you're unfamiliar with how pendulums work, I have other videos on my account on this channel that you can check out, and I talk a little more in depth. But pretty much our opening hand's pretty good. We have Draco Face-Off. This is the more expensive variant where we run the Draco engine. And our hands, I'm liking it a lot. We have an ability to special summon one monster on the field. We have the ability to set up our skills and pendulum summon. And I mean, we're able to do a lot of plays pretty much. We have a lot of searchability. We top deck Oafdragon, we use Draco Face-Off, special summon a monster on our field, and now we got a tuner so we can make Draco Synchro, and we have our skills set up so we're able to pendulum summon everything in our hand and 1 card from our extra deck. I search out White Wing because it's a tuner. So after I summon this guy, I want to get rid of the back row, just in case the back row is something that's going to stop me. It doesn't look like it's chainable, so honestly I didn't really need to do this, but I just want to get rid of it just to be safe. I'm going to pop that, and here's a good example of where I mess up. Instead of just pendulum summoning and trying to get as many monsters as I can, I destroy my scale with Ignister, the Synchro card, and I set up my skills again, and I messed up. I should have used double iris, and it's very easy to mess up in a pendulum deck if you mess up the skills. If you'll notice, both my skills are 2. I'm not able to pendulum summon because pendulum summoning only works with the numbers in between. So I needed to use double iris as my skill. I wasn't able to, so I'm not able to pendulum summon. My only hope is next turn I'm able to destroy my scales in order to like actually be able to do something. So if I'm not able to destroy my skills, I think I just lose the duel straight off the bat. But luckily the opponent kind of allows me to destroy my skills, which you'll see in a moment. So at the start of his turn, he sets a card, destroys one of my monsters. I still have the Synchro. I'm going to activate the Synchro. He's going to chain his trap. His trap is like return my Synchro back to the hand. The weird thing with the trap, or my monster, is that as soon as it activates, it goes through. You can't really negate it by returning it to the hand or like destroying it. As soon as the effect activates, it goes through. Unless it directly says like negate the effect. So I'm able to destroy the skill that I don't want, and I'm able to send a card on his field into the deck, and then I set up the skills properly, and I'm able to pendulum summon 4 cards. But I think I only pendulum summon 3, because White Wing is a card I really don't want to pendulum summon, because it has the effect when it's pendulum summoned, and it's used for a synchro summon, banish it. I don't want this card to be banished, so I'm going to try to normal summon it, so that I can get more advantage. Right now my field's pretty good. Harmonizing Magician, Oafdragon on the field. I can make a Synchro 10, I have a white in my hand, I can make a Synchro 8, I can do a lot of things honestly, and I'm feeling pretty confident with like the board that I have. Also, pendulums are kind of crazy because I'm able to search so many cards, so I have a lot of advantage too, for like next turn, if it goes to that turn. I summon Baronne de Fleur, amazing card, destroy 1 card on the field. If my opponent activates anything, I can just negate it, and he just scoops. I still had a normal summon that turn, I'm still able to do more things. Okay, and this is the second duel. Still using the more expensive variant of the deck, and I have White Wing in my hand, I have Joker and Pendulum Call, and Draco Face-Off, so pretty much I have a lot of plays. Draco Face-Off is very good here, allows me to special summon for my deck. Joker is going to add me a monster from my deck to my hand, so I'm able to set up my skills if I need to. I'm just going to use Pendulum Call, discard the card I added, because I'm able to bring it back from the graveyard later in the duel, if I want to, because of Oafdragon's special summon effect. I set up my scales, I'm going to be able to Pendulum Summon. The main reason, and I'm gonna Pendulum Summon White, even if it gets banished, just because I want to be able to make another Synchro. But the main reason that I didn't Synchro Summon immediately and then Pendulum Summon is because I'm not able to make links And with pendulum summoning, you can only pendulum summon into the extra zone if it's from the extra deck. So it wouldn't have really mattered. I make Cyber Slash, which has the effect, if I activate a spell or trap, or my opponent does, I can bounce one monster my opponent controls to the hand, and it's going to come up. It's a very, very good effect. You don't need to run the card, I just had it on my bulk, so I ran it. The trap card has the effect where I can destroy one card, pendulum monster on my field or on my skills, and then destroy one card my opponent controls, and then if one card's not destroyed, I can send another card. So I'm just going to activate the trap, return the card to his hand. I kind of did a misplay. I should have destroyed both cards, but I was like, like maybe he might have something else. I don't want to destroy everything right away. And the misplay was the card I returned to his hand is actually going to come up. Oafdragon's going to add me the card I discarded turn first. This is the card I added to his hand. Essentially what it does is when it's special summoned, all my monsters go to defense. So that was a misplay on my part. I didn't need to return it to his hand because I kind of just like screwed myself over a little bit. I'm going to get rid of it because like I don't want to deal with that for next turn. He might be able to make something big. And it does look like he's able to do something. Lightning Storm destroys all my spell and traps, so I can't like really like activate anything if he tries to do anything, just like he is right now. Also, I lost my skills, so next turn if I'm not able to set up my skills, I'm going to be in a bad situation. And yeah, he's going to make a monster that's able to negate monster effects. So I'm not able to use Cyber Slash here to return this card to the extra deck because he's just going to negate it and destroy it. So the only thing I can really do right here is just try to stall, try to draw another Pendulum monster and I'll be okay. Luckily I top deck Star Pendulum. If a Pendulum monster I control leaves the field, I can add one from the deck, and this card's going to leave the field. I'm going to add 2 Wisdom Eyes, and then I top deck Pendulum Call. And my options were use both Wisdom Eyes to like set up my skills, or just use Pendulum Call to protect my skills and get 2 adds from my deck, like whatever I want. So I choose to do this, set up my scales. I'm going to use Oafdragon to grab a card from my extra deck to my hand, which is the reason I like Pendulums a lot in this Synchro matchup. Where you can only use Synchro cards, is because I can continuously add cards from my extra deck to my hand and just Pendulum Summon a lot. Even if like the game pretty much says you can only Pendulum Summon 1 from the extra deck to the extra monster zone, I'm able to do a lot. Better Than Nice is extremely broken here, because even though his card can negate a monster effect, Better Than Nice can do the exact same thing, and he also has the effect where I can like destroy cards, so I'm going to destroy it, he's going to chain his card to negate mine, I'm just going to negate his negate. It's like a bunch of chains, but pretty much I come out on top, I have a bunch of monsters, I'm able to make a Synchro, Enlightenment, adds me a card from my graveyard, add a Pendulum Call just in case things go bad, I have like a backup. He's going to attack twice, and he top decks Lightning Storm. Cool thing about Pendulums too is Pendulum Call has the effect where they can't be destroyed until the end of your opponent's next turn. So Lightning Storm didn't do anything. Next turn, just attack him directly, that's game. But yeah, the deck's really fun. I think it's very, very cheap just because it's pretty much just 3 Pendulum Structure decks, which is like, what, 1,500 gems? It's very, very fun, honestly. You can make the new best Synchro monster in the game, Bear Denise. So yeah, I hope you liked this video. It was a ton of fun making, and maybe I'll see you around in the Synchro event. Later.